What is up, guys? You know what is crazy? Every conversation you're having with Chat GPT, your brainstorming sessions, your personal questions, your business plans, they're all being collected, analyzed, and then who knows what else. They say they don't sell data in their terms of service, but the literal ex-head of the NSA sits on their board. With that in mind, today's video is sponsored by Venice AI. Venice AI is on the leading edge of AI privacy. Unlike other AI programs that share and censor your conversations, Venice AI is a generative AI platform that is private and permissionless. They utilize leading open source AI models to deliver text, code, and image generation to your web browser. There's no downloads and there's no installations of any kind. Your messages are all encrypted and all the information is stored only on your browser. With Venice AI, there are countless ways to utilize artificial intelligence. From creating an AI character to chat with, to generating images for your brand, to having access to a plethora of information as soon as you want it. One of my favorite things to do is generate images. Personally, I generated the image for one of my Instagram profiles using AI. If you want to try Venice AI, you don't even need to create an account. You can just go to this link here or visit the link in the description and start chatting immediately. If you want access to a completely private and censorshipless DeepSeek model and other amazing features, you can use my link here or my code and get 20% off of a pro plan. Now, with all that being said, I hope you enjoy your new AI adventure, and I also hope you enjoy this video. Alright guys, welcome to the workout. The first movement on the agenda is going to be a lying hamstring curl. The reason for this, I will do this before any of my compound lifts just to get my legs warm, my knees warmed up. I think it is a safer way to go about doing things, in my opinion. Also, my hamstrings need some serious growth, so I do like to put them first. What I'm focusing on here is just a good full range of motion with a fairly heavy weight, only getting about 10 to 12 reps here. Good full lengthened stretch at the beginning of the movement there, and as hard of a contraction as I can at the top. I will be doing 3 sets of these to start off the workout. Alright, movement number 2 is going to be a bit of a lighter leg extension. I'm treating this like a warm-up. I will be doing pendulum squats next, which is a compound lift, heavier load, so I want to make sure that my quads and knees are nice and warm. So I'm taking these sets moderately close to failure. I do 2 here, but not going all out because I just don't want to gas my quads out completely yet, because like I said, the pendulum squat will be my main quad movement for the day. Focus here on the stretch at the bottom of the movement, as well as engaging or starting the movement at the top of the quad at the origin of the rectus femoris muscle. That way I'm just getting the best contraction and the best stretch possible. And like I said, I will be doing 2 sets of this before my pendulum squat. Alright, next movement on the list is going to be a pendulum squat. This is one of my favorite exercises of all time. What this allows me to do is get super deep into my squat there without any back or ankle issues coming into play. This is a quad focused movement for me. You can use it to focus your glutes with a different stance. As you can see, I don't put a lot of load on here, so this is only a 55-pound plate, which if you ever used this before, you would know that that's not necessarily light, but it's on the lighter side for me. I'm a 550 plus pound squatter, so I can move some weight, but that is not the intention here. The intention is to put a lot of mechanical stress and a lot of lactic acid into the quads themselves. So you can see I have a very slow eccentric here, a little pause at the bottom with the stretch, and then exploding as good as I can through the quads and a little bit honestly through the toes. just to put as much pressure onto the quads as possible. I ended up doing 4 sets here. I didn't drop the weight or anything, and I took the first 2 sets pretty close to failure, and the last 2 sets all the way to failure. As you can see, those pendulum squats really take it out of me. As soon as I'm done, I just kind of collapse and try to catch my breath. So yeah, great movement there. Next is a single leg, I guess, standing hamstring curl. This is the first one I've ever used. It's not a super common machine, but I do really like it for being able to really isolate your hamstrings, specifically for me because my right one is a little bit smaller than my left one, so I do start with the right leg, give it as much attention as I can. If I would tell you to focus on anything here, it'd be the same as most movements, just to make sure that you are allowing that muscle to stretch through the bottom as much as you can, and then contracting to the best of your ability at the top. Here it's about 8 to 12 reps, pretty much failure on every one. And the pendulum squat was anywhere from 12 to like 16 reps, wherever failure was. So I ended up doing 3 sets total here, 3 on each leg, so that would be 6 hamstring movements, or 6 hamstring sets so far between 2 movements, and 6 quad sets so far between 2 movements. I have changed my split a little bit, so I am doing hams and quads kind of equally on the same day, so usually about 9 sets for each. And I've been doing legs once a week, because doing that twice a week would be a lot to recover from if you're training as hard as I do. And one thing I did want to mention that you will see towards the end of my sets, when I can't get full reps, I'll do partial reps until I just really can't move the weight anymore. And that is just ensuring that I'm getting as much out of that muscle and as much out of that movement as I can, because I really don't want to leave anything in the tank. There's technical failure, which is where you can't just complete a full rep with good form, and then there's absolute failure, which is what I get to, where your muscles just don't really move anymore. Alright, on to leg extensions part 2. I do think I misspoke earlier. I think I said my previous leg extensions were the lighter ones. These are the lighter ones, so this is a little bit less than the full stack. Aiming for, honestly, a range of 12 to 20 reps. It can just depend on how fatigued I am, how much food I have, but at the end of the day, I'm just taking it to failure with a weight that I can get at least 10 like solid full range of motion contracting reps with. So these are hard. These are to complete failure. As you can see, I start to struggle. Even when I can't get like that much of a partial rep, I'll stop and kind of just do another little mini set, kind of like a cluster set fashion. Like I said, focusing on starting movement at the top of the quad where the rectus femoris originates, and then getting a full contraction. When done right, leg extensions are an absolutely amazing movement for the quads. That is why I will have leg extensions on all of my leg days. And then you see I go into sissy squats here. This is just just an intensifier. Sissy squats are really good. As you can see, I'm pushing all of my weight through my knees here, which is going to be a full quad movement, not really using much else. And this, again, is just an intensifier to just tear down that muscle as much as you can, generate as much hypertrophy as possible. If you haven't tried this, I will highly recommend that you superset some sissy squats with leg extensions. As you can see, I get to failure there. I just can't stand back up because they just won't work anymore. So I will be doing 2 sets here. Let's take a look at the next set because it's a little bit different. All right, set number 2 or 4 total of leg extensions here. This is kind of my version of sort of a cluster set. So what a cluster set is, you pick a weight, let's say that you could do for 10 reps, and you do maybe 6. You wait a few seconds and then try to get another 6, and then maybe wait a few seconds, maybe try to get another 6. So instead of doing 10 reps, you're doing like 12 or 18, depending on how many little mini sets you're doing. But the way I like to do these on leg extensions specifically is that I won't bring my legs out of the machine, so they stay in that stretched, lengthened position there, which makes it a lot harder for blood to leave, which means that that blood's staying in there and that lactic acid is staying in there. Lactic acid presence in the blood itself generates hypertrophic signals in your body that will just make whatever muscle that you're training, it'll just put it into a more anabolic environment. So it's just another way to just spice up your training, add a little intensifier. I do drop the weight a couple times here just to help me move it. As you can see a little bit, I'm lifting the weight with my hand a little bit on the stack to try to give myself a little bit of a self spot, which is a really good technique. If you do have a machine where you can help yourself, it's a good way to get a few extra reps if you don't have a spotter or something. And then after this, I will go into those sissy squats as well. All right, final movement of this leg day is a Smith machine RDL. These are a little bit funky, because I haven't done these in a long time, so I went a little bit lighter. I did 225 instead of like 315 or 335, which I normally do, just because I haven't used this Smith machine before and I haven't done them in a while. So these are more, I guess, pump up style sets. I was still getting a good contraction and taking it pretty close to failure here. So this will be 2 sets, bringing my total hamstring and quad movement volume to the equal amount. Some days, if I'm doing a hamstring focused leg day, I will put this movement a little bit earlier on instead of towards the end. But I will always make sure that I do some kind of isolated hamstring curl before I go into these, just to get my kind of central nervous system a little bit more activated, get some blood into the area. That'll just help with being able to perform the movement better, as well as avoiding any possible injury.